Alrighty boys, welcome back once again to another video. How you guys doing? Guys, today we're going to be going over the surround pound hammer in Fortnite Save the World, and this is the new Boombox hammer which has just come to the game, and the Boombox set is notorious for having some of the best melee weapons in the entirety of the game. They have the best club in the game and the best spear in the game. How about the Boombox hammer though? How does this fare against other hammers in the game? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Now, I am no hammer expert, but this weapon is actually pretty great. We tested it out over on Twitch. Look at this. Look at this wave clear. It's so sexy. It's a critting seismic smash wave clear. And the weapon is absolutely fantastic. It has really good wave clear. It's got really good single target damage. It does wubs. It's pretty good. And we're going to be going over that in today's video. If you guys do want to pick this weapon up, you can get it for 1680 gold in the weekly store. It will be found right here. So yeah, if you guys do want to pick it up, it is pretty cheap. And I highly advise always buying everything you can from the event store. There's no telling what it will become later down the line. But in this case, you definitely want to buy it anyways because it's one of the best weapons in the game. So we have a crit rate, double crit damage, attack speed in terms of my rolls on this weapon, and this is a little bit more personalized towards me. You guys can definitely have different rolls on this if you want. You could go with an impact roll if you really wanted to. Right here, you could do damage, and you could also put another damage here if you plan on using totally rocking out and you don't want any crit rating whatsoever. For me personally, I wanted to be a little bit more usable outside of totally rocking out, so I went with the double crit damage, I went with attack speed, and crit rate. I found that that was really good. Without the attack speed, I just feel like you swing a little too slow. Don't really care for it too much. It says stunning or knocking back enemies with this weapon causes nearby enemies to dance, and seeing as it's a hammer, it's definitely going to be doing a lot of knocking back. The description for this weapon says hardware boombox, a hammer with good attack speed and excellent impact, bass drop, smash the ground creating a series of sonic pulses that damage and knock back enemies. We're looking at 26,000 damage, 48% crit hit chance, 320% crit hit damage, a 0.71 attack speed, and a 4,000 impact. This weapon definitely has a lot going for it. Now, taking a look at the loadout. Everybody's loadouts are going to be different, so feel free to kind of experiment with your own loadout, but this is my own personal one. My favorite ninja in the game is Deadly Blade Crash. She basically makes your affliction deal hundreds of thousands of damage, and this affliction gets applied to an enemy after you hit a crit. So of course we're going with totally rocking out. Now, a lot of the times in a lot of my previous weapon reviews, I'll use this for a example really quick. This right here, Breakbeat Wildcat. I usually never use totally rocking out with, let's say, Sledgehammer, because I find that it's very annoying constantly switching to your weapon and then, you know, eating a wafer and then switching back and blah, blah, blah. I find that really annoying on ranged weapon characters. However, using wafers with a ninja and using it with melee weapons actually wasn't as annoying as I thought. So what we're doing is we're actually going to do something different. We're actually going to use Deadly Blade Crash and totally rocking out as the team perk, bringing down the house and sub wafers as our support team. Previously, I did have Wildcat here, but I found that Penny is way more consistent whenever it comes to actually getting totally rocking out because, well, you're always going to be doing a heavy attack and you're going to be killing tons of enemies with it. Now, we also have Assassination down here, Rapid Charge, and Fire of the Dragon. Now, Fire of the Dragon, this is a little bit, you might want to switch it, you might not. This is pretty much only going to be very useful against high health enemies. We're talking about smashers, we're talking about mini bosses and stuff. This is going to give you one extra affliction tick, but that can be the difference between no damage and upwards of 200,000. So you definitely do want to have this in your squad if you plan on attacking, you know, high health enemies. Of course, Rapid Charge so that we can keep using the heavy attack, and Assassination, you know, just extra damage. It's always a nice thing. So that's the loadout that we're using for today's video. What we're going to do is we are going to hop into I guess a refuel the home base because the 124 missions are garbage right now. So we'll do a refuel the home base. We're going to do a smasher test. We're going to walk around, murder some stuff, and give you guys my own opinions. I'm not a huge melee fan, but this hammer definitely did grab my attention. So let's go ahead and jump into the game and kind of show off this hammer a little bit. Alrighty, boys. So here we are in game with the Sound Pounder. Wait, it's called the Sound Pounder, right? The Surround Pounder. Here we are in game with the surround pound. So I just got done searching far and wide and I finally did find a little bit of a smashy boy over there. Unfortunately, he is elemental, which means that we're going to be doing 75% of our normal damage, but that's okay. I actually do have a clip right here to go ahead and showcase what kind of damage this thing can do against a non-elemental smasher, so you guys can go ahead and check that out. It woke him up! I wasn't expecting that, to be honest. Hey bud, you don't like saxophone? Alright, I'll take that as a no. Alright, so let's see what the heavy attack does. Holy mama, dude, it almost one-hit him. So yeah, hope that does give you guys a little bit of an idea of what this weapon can do against those type of smashers, but we do have an elementy boy over here, so get a little bit of variety in today's video. Tons of different kinds of footage. So we're gonna do the smasher test on this guy. I went ahead and got my wafers. We also have tons of mist monsters over there that we can do some testing on and all that kind of stuff, but I like to start off the reviews with a little bit of a smashy test, so we're gonna go ahead and get rid of his mob. Going to get rid of these guys. There we go. Go ahead and get the smashy boy away. I'm going to go ahead and showcase the heavy attack for those guys that are curious. And yes, it does go under the riot shield shields, which actually makes it very useful for some wave clear. Alright, let's go and throw down the slow field. Eat a wafer, and we'll try out the heavy attack on the smasher, because the heavy attack is actually really good on this weapon. Way better than the normal attack. So here's the heavy attack on the smasher, and as you guys can see, he is taking major ticks of damage. That is over half of his health in one hit, which is ridiculous. This heavy attack can be used for multi-target damage, but it still acts as if it's a single target attack. I'm going to use one more. We didn't crit because we suck. We didn't crit again, even though we got totally... Okay, let's try one more time. There we go. Hit him twice too, and that's a lot of damage right there. So, as you guys can see, heavy attack is pretty much like a seismic smash that crits on attack, and it also does really good damage against single target, and it can clear out huge waves of enemies. It is pretty fantastic. I really do like this weapon, if you guys cannot tell. I did tons of experimenting with it on stream, streamed a lot longer than I normally would checking out the surround pound, and it really was a blast checking out this weapon. It's got a really good normal attack. As you guys can see, the normal attack does, you know, decent damage, as well as making other enemies dance, which is really good. With the attack speed on it, it definitely feels a lot better. Like I said earlier, you don't have to put an attack speed on it if you don't want to. I just feel as though it makes it feel better, even though it does slightly less damage. It just feels a lot better than me. I find more enjoyment out of using the, you know, the attack speed. But even if you want to use this weapon simply for its just heavy attack, I mean, you're pretty much assigning a stronger seismic smash to any character that you want. You know, this thing is ridiculous because it crits whenever you're using, you know, this character in particular. Those crits are going to be doing crazy affliction damage, and they're just going to be melting any, you know, enemy that comes in your path. We're in a game by ourselves. We're not getting buffed by any teammates. We go against an elemental smasher. We use one click of our mouse, and over half of his health is gone. It's pretty insane, man. The amount of damage this thing can put out is pretty ridiculous. Go and use it on these guys right here. And one hit a blaster, one hit a taker, get rid of the guy next to him. Pretty simple stuff, man. Like I said, you guys know I definitely like this weapon, did tons of testing. I'm definitely no hammer, I'm definitely no, like, knowledgeable hammer user. I don't really use melee all that much in Fortnite, you know, I'm more of a gun guy. But it doesn't take a genius to know that this weapon's pretty crazy. I don't know if I can go as far as to call it the best hammer in the game. You know, the lead sled is still a really good weapon, the Baron has its uses as well, but, like, there is no weapon in this game that quite exactly does what this one does. It's got crowd control with the dancing, it's got wave clear with the heavy attack, it's got single target damage with the heavy attack, and it's just got an overall good feel with the base attack of it. It's got good impact, it's got good swing speed, it's really great. I kind of do want to explain my playstyle with this weapon a little bit as well, because like I said at the beginning of the video, you know, I'm not using a rad hero. You know, normally I would always use a rad hero if I'm using this team perk, and I'm obviously using a different hero this time. My specific playstyle with this weapon that I found that works really well is that I would much rather play a ninja when using this hammer. I feel like using a constructor is a waste of time. Constructors normally get caught out, they normally die pretty easily, and ninjas have a little bit of extra survivability because they're a little bit more nimble. And one of the reasons that I like using this character with this hammer is because of using these wafers alongside this ninja's strengths. Basically what I like to do is I like to be in a battle, I'm swinging, I'm attacking, I jump in the air, eat a wafer, come right back swinging and doing tons of damage and stuff like that. The wafer is going to give me better crit rating, more damage, more attack speed, and I'm able to eat these in the middle of the air, and it's almost as though I'm not even missing out on anything. A previous problem that I had with, you know, ranged weapons is that I didn't really care too much. Wow, we just one hit the taker with the basic attack. One thing that I don't like about the ranged weapons with wafers is just that you're wasting a lot of time. You know, you have reloads to worry about. You know, you're on the ground most of the time, so you're being attacked by multiple enemies and stuff. You can't really jump around and get away from people and take a break. You know, for me personally, it causes a lot of problems, and I'd rather use breakbeat. But in this case, this build is so strong, because you're able to use wafers as though you're not even using them. Just spend a little bit of time at the beginning of a mission grabbing some wafers, and you're good to go for the rest of the time. You are going to be doing outstanding amounts of damage and nearly one-hitting smashers. I mean, I can promise you, if you're in a group with other players, you will be consistently one-hitting smashers with your heavy attack, depending on the power level. It's a pretty ridiculous hammer. I don't know if I can call it the best in the game, but I kind of want to. I just want to, but I do kind of feel like I've been calling way too much stuff, you know, the best, but this Boombox weapon set has been absolutely insane in, you know, what exactly it offers. And all I can really say is that there is no hammer that exists in this game that is quite like the Boombox hammer. You got crowd control, you got wave clear, you got single target damage, you got a very strong build that you can use with it as well. You're just looking at absolute destruction with this weapon, and it's really gotten me to actually appreciate this hammer and appreciate melee as a whole. I'm not sure how often I'll be using this a week, you know, down the line, but it's definitely something that's caught my attention way more than any other weapon that's come out recently, and that's including ranged weapons. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for my review in today's video. This hammer is absolutely ridiculous, and you should definitely go and perk it up immediately. But yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below if you guys have already tried out this hammer, and, you know, let me know if you enjoy it, if you have a different kind of build, different kind of perk setup. I think that this works pretty well. I absolutely love this build and this perk loadout. It just does absolute work, and this hammer is definitely separating itself from the rest, in my opinion. One of the most unique melee weapons in the entirety of the game. But yeah, guys, that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Let me know if you guys enjoyed the review by leaving a comment and leaving a like on the video. If you guys are new around here, make sure to subscribe, because I make videos like this almost every single day. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.